Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into the New England Sports Center for Hopkinton Dover Sherborn Girls Varsity Co-op Hockey. As this evening they take on the Black Knights of Stoughton. Hopkinton Dover Sherborn 2-6-1 on the season. Stoughton is 0-8. Hopkinton defeated Stoughton back on January 7th by a final of 7-1, and they are looking for another win here this evening. And we saw this Hopkinton Dover Sherborn team take on a good Leominster team this past Friday, which they have actually previously beat, but they fell this past Friday 6-1, so they look to rebound here this evening. And if you look at their past 5 games, in 2 of those they have picked up a win, and in 1 of those they have tied, so they've racked up some points in the recent days. As we are just about ready for face-off, Hopkinton Dover Sherborn working left to right across your screen for this opening period. Leanna Patrick up against Perry Rodman, and we are underway as Hopkinton Dover Sherborn is going to get the offsides call. We'll get a face-off just 6 seconds into action. Tom Nappy happy to be with you on the call. John Ritz on camera. With it is Sophia Mazzucchelli coming up the near side. Swiped away, getting the stick in there, Ava Buckley. Mazzucchelli leaves it out. Shot by Patrick, deflected. The Stoughton team, a very young team. They have 4 8th graders on the roster. As with it now is Perry Rodman. They only have 1 senior, 2 juniors, and also 4 freshmen, as well as a couple sophomores, so a very young Stoughton team. And Hopkinton Dover Sherborn will look to take advantage of that, as it is a rarity that Hopkinton Dover Sherborn has the experience advantage, but in this case they certainly do. Jammed up along the boards, Ava Buckley trying to dig it out. Meeting up with her, Morgan Byler trying to leave it out in front. Gets by her intended target. Floats over to the far side. Byler approaching. And that pass attempt deflected. As they battle along the near side. Squirts out over and around the end boards. Perdoni puts it towards the corner. Collie Arthur approaching, wrister, and that's turned away. Jammed up along the near side corner, it'll squirt out. In net for Hopkinton Dover Sherborn is Riley Cholera, as we'll get an icing call. And for Stoughton, it is an 8th grader in net, Sarah Scapatici. And I've heard she is a pretty solid goaltender and has done a good job for Stoughton this season, as that's sent a bit wide by Abby Wade. And now out in front, Mazzucchelli with the backhander turned away. Good pressure by Hopkinton Dover Sherborn. Wayne takes it, deflected. Secondary shot put in. Lucy Jean. Correction, that'll be, it will be Lucy Jean. And that's our first goal of the season. And Leanna Patrick got the puck for, I think, for a souvenir. Since she scored her first goal, Lucy Jean, just a freshman, and is able to put it in. I believe it was Abby Wayne on the assist. So congratulations to Lucy Jean on her first goal. And we'll get a face-off at 12:50 left to go here in this first period. Good start for Hopkinton Dover Sherborn. Morgan Byler up against Megan McGowan. Sent across by Haley Cox. Approaching, there's a shot sent just wide. Jammed up along the near side. Last shot was by Bianca Musgrave. Getting in there is Haley Cox. Sends it out. Sent wide by Callie Arthur. And we have a busy hockey day for you here today on HCAM. We have this game, of course. And then later on at 8 p.m., we have the boys' senior night battle as they'll take on Norton. There's a shot deflected, and off the deflection, a secondary shot turned away. On that secondary shot was Savannah Rivera. It was a good job getting in there. Nice save by Scapatici. And we're looking forward to that Hopkinton-Norton boys game, two of the best in the TVL. Norton at the top of the standings in the TVL small, Hopkinton towards the top in the TVL large. Avery Bent sends it over, approaching Callie Arthur out in front, and it'll be wrapped up by Scapatici. Good decision there. We're going to face off at 11:36 left to go in the first period. Swing and a miss there by Finnegan off the pass from Rivera. Coming around with it now, leaving it out in front is Byler. Bailey sends it over. Pass by Wayne to the far side. Hopkinton Dover Sherborn looking to organize and put on some pressure, trying to dig it out. Finnegan getting in there. Bailey to the blue line. Wayne, that shot turned away off a defender it goes. Ella Cummings getting in the way. Along the corner, sent behind the net by Bailey. Jammed up. Some good back and forth going on here. Hopkinton Dover Sherborn looking to set up shop in front. Over to Wayne goes Finnegan. Wrister a little high. Taken back by Hopkinton DS. Getting in there, Bailey. Approaching Perdoni, and that shot turned away. And a secondary shot turned away and deflected. Perdoni sends it to the corner. Wayne with the shot. Off a defender it goes. Stoughton really just trying to keep it away from their net right now. Hopkinton Dover Sherborn dominating in the possession battle. Perdoni puts it behind the net. Mazzucchelli trying to sneak out. And there's a backhander, and that's going to be just turned away as Perdoni got the stick in there. Back to Hopkinton DS territory it goes as Stoughton makes a change. First time they've really been able to do so in quite a while. Perdoni approaching, and that shot just wide. Mazzucchelli up behind the net. Trying to take it out. Ref trying to stay out of the way along the corner. Perdoni pass over to Mazzucchelli, who's trying to scoot it out in front. He was hoping that Lucy Jean was going to get a shot. There's a wrister by Mazzucchelli, a little high. Jean catches up with it along the far side, sends it to the corner. Jean and Patrick in that corner along the far side. Back to the blue line to Cox. Scooping it out, Musgrave. Leaves it out in front, and that shot just wide by Mazzucchelli. Trying to dig it out of the corner now. Here comes Patrick. Approaching. And now out in front, Mazzucchelli trying to put it in, and she does. 2-0, Hopkinton DS. Well, it was great pressure, and sooner or later, things are going to break your way if you keep putting that kind of pressure. And Hopkinton DS kept pushing, and Sophia Mazzucchelli out of Blackstone Valley Tech able to put it in with the assist from Liana Patrick out of Nipmuc. That score comes at 8:26 left to go here in this first period. I'll tell you what, Hopkinton Dover Sherborn was once in the position that Stoughton was in, and still quite often they are in many of their matchups. Being a very young team and taking on an experienced team as that one's covered up. And actually, correction on the, that's Molly Cavino in front of the net, Sarah Scapitici in net, but Stoughton a young team, and Hopkinton Dover Sherborn certainly with a lot more experience. And you're seeing that out there today, but Hopkinton Dover Sherborn not often on that side of the matchup. And I think it's probably a relief to them to get a few games like that and rack up some wins and some points as Stoughton working up the near side. Ella Cummings matched up with Perdoni. Jammed up along the boards, squirts out, up and around it goes. Trying to take it out. Stoughton looking to get some pressure going. Cummings trying to dig it out. Sent up the ice, and there's a shot out in front. And that is going to be covered up. Great save by Cholera. That was very good pressure by Stoughton, and it was Julia Heinen who nearly had it. She had a backhander off the deflection and was nearly able to put it in, but a great save from the Nipmuc freshman. Along the end boards goes Musgrave. Scoots it up the far side, and we're going to get an offsides call, I believe. We're going to face off at 7:14 left to go in the period. Over to the near side. Here comes Bailey. Now trying to approach. That was Lucy Jean over to the far side now. Sent back to Jean from Finnegan. Now to the blue line, that's Musgrave. Puts it into the traffic, and that shot turned away. And Jean with a nice pass out. It's turned away. I believe that's Jean, a jersey a little tucked in. Actually, that's Avery Bent, number 10. Jammed up along the corner. Taking out Bailey. Top of the right circle. That shot deflected, and it is covered up. Scapitici just able to cover it up. Bailey did get a piece of it on the secondary attempt. But the Hopkinton DS pressure continues. That's deflected out of play. Looked like Lucy Jean got the shot right off the bat. There's Jean on the face-off as it wraps around the boards. Perdoni sends it back. Perdoni will catch up with it. Sends it over to Wayne. Into the slot. Deflected to the near side. Mazzucchelli trying to dig it out. Along the neutral zone, Wayne pops it off the boards. Back and forth we go. Wayne with it, back ice. Sends it over to Mazzucchelli. Tripped up player there. Stoughton trying to work it up, build a little pressure. Wayne gets in the way. Wayne doing battle with Ava Buckley. Now coming away with it, Ella Cummings. Approaching the net. Backhander, and she lost her footing there. Out in front, turned away. Hopkinton, Dover, Sherborn looking to clear. Along the far side, Mistretta. Here comes Jean, racing up the ice. I'll tell you, Lucy Jean, player to look out for. Out in front, turned away. Mistretta trying to get in there, and she was diverted. Jammed up along the near side. Mistretta got a piece of it, knocked it into the corner. Approaching 4.5 minutes left to go in this first period. 2-0 Hopkinton Dover Sherborn lead. Along the near side, brushing it forward, Haley Cox. Trying to dig it out. Some back and forth along the near side boards. It's sent towards the net and then cleared away. Good shot by Callie Arthur. I'll tell you, the Stoughton team battling out there. They're young, but they're not intimidated. They're getting right up in there and trying to get the puck away. One-timer turned away by Arthur. Along the far side. Wayne getting in there. Up against a couple of Stoughton Black Knights. Knocked up the ice. Into Hopkinton DS territory. That gives Stoughton an opportunity to make a change as Ella Cummings able to knock it away. And now here comes Hopkinton DS once again. Byler, that shot deflected. Ends up a little high. Callie Arthur digs it out of the corner. Wrister. That's just wide. Along the near side now. In a traffic jam. A couple of players from both teams in there trying to dig it out. Along the end board, slapping it away is Molly Corvino. Along the far side, Reed. And there's a quick shot there by Musgrave that's turned away. Scapatici's been very busy in net for Stoughton, but doing a good job keeping Stoughton in this game as we hit just under 3 minutes. Bailey sends it up. Good battle along the end boards. Slapped away by Corvino. Sent along the blue line by Wenrich. Everybody on both teams, I think, going to get a taste of the action here this evening. We've seen a lot of different line changes and a lot of different combinations so far as well. Is gone with it. Caitlin gone. Turned away. Jammed up along the near side. We'll have to do some research, see if there's any relationship to Andrew Gahn, great baseball player for Hopkinton. There's a shot turned away, set aside off the stick of Bailey. And it was Brian Gahn as well. Now you got Caitlin Gahn. Jammed up along the near side. There's a wrister and a glove save off the stick of Bailey. Kelly Bailey out of Nipmuc, a senior. There are 5-6 seniors on the roster for Hopkinton Dover Sherborn. Oh, wait, they're giving her to the goal, it looks like. They're going to say that went in past the line. So, mark it for Kelly Bailey. And that's going to make it a 3-0 game at 1:27 left to go in the first period. All right, they'll take it. Leanna Patrick approaching. Mazzucchelli with a shot, and it's covered up. Good pressure off the face-off there. Along the corner. That is sent up into Hopkinton DS territory. and we'll get an icing. Anna Patrick on the face-off up against Ava Buckley. The lone senior on Stoughton is Ava Buckley. She'll knock it away. Under a minute left in this first period. Great first period for Hopkinton Dover Sherborn. Relentless pressure on this young Stoughton team, and they've been able to come up with 3 goals. Patrick back in the face-off circle. Wayne, top of the circle, off a defender she goes. Into the slot area. Patrick with a shot, it's in! Nice shot there by Leanna Patrick. A senior at a netbuck and a captain. And it's a 4-0 lead for Hopkinton Dover Sherborn at 46 seconds left to go in the first period. Well, Hopkinton Dover Sherborn showing Stoughton who's boss in this one so far. Finnegan puts it up to their side. Back ice, Buckley knocks it up into the neutral zone. Deflected. With it is Perdoni. Now here comes Gone. Getting in there, Mistretta. Along to their side, Finnegan slaps it across over to Mistretta. Pass up now. Taken away by Cummings. And that'll do it. A tremendous first period by Hopkinton Dover Sherborn. And after 1, it's Hopkinton Dover Sherborn 4, Stoughton nothing. You are tuned in to Hopkinton Dover Sherborn Girls Co-op Varsity Hockey on HCAM. Welcome back into the New England Sports Center. We are ready for the second period of this girls varsity hockey matchup between the Hopkinton Dover Sherborn Co-op and the Stoughton Black Knights. A 4-0 Hopkinton Dover Sherborn lead against this young Stoughton team. Hopkinton Dover Sherborn working right to left across your screen for the second period. Tom Nappy happy to be with you on the call. John Ritz on camera. And we are underway this second period. And don't forget, a double dose of hockey for you today. We'll have the boys game against Norton later on as Lucy Jean approaching, leaves it out in front, turned away. She's looking to get it over to Mazzucchelli. Along the boards up to Brennan. And getting in the way there is Ella Cummings. Here she comes. Driving in, wrister, turned away. Nice job by Ella Cummings getting the puck out of there, getting a nice drive up the ice, but a good save by Cholera. Mazzucchelli trying to leave it for Jean. Along the end boards, Mazzucchelli gets in there to contest Kalapai. Wayne puts it towards the slot. With it now, Ella Cummings. Taking it up. Along the near side. Wayne gets in there. Here comes Byler. Leaves it out. And it was turned away as Rivera trying to get the shot off. Defender in the way. And we will get an icing call. 13:20 left to go in the second period. Off the face-off, sent back by Byler. There's a quick shot, turned away. Wayne on the one-timer. Wenrich puts it towards the slot, into the traffic jam, and it's taken out. Racing up the ice, that's number 13, Ava Buckley. Puts it out in front, turned away by Cholera. Looked like she was going for the pass there. Well, Stoughton contesting pretty good in the first few minutes of this second period. Certainly closing a lot of those gaps they left open in that first period, at least in the first few minutes. We'll get an icing call, face off at 12:41. Good back and forth off that face-off. There's a shot into a defender. It goes off the stick of Musgrave. Sent back by Bailey. Musgrave going to send it wide. Along the far side trying to dig it out. McGowan there to intercept Musgrave. Musgrave backhands it towards the end boards. Racing in, that shot sent wide. Along the far side, Bailey. Trying to dig it out. And sent over to the near side. Pass up over to Musgrave. She looks to get it back to Finnegan as Kelly takes it. Or correction, that was Bailey, sends it out. Bailey approaching. She already has a goal today. Leaves it out in front, and it's turned away. Looking to get Ghana shot there, and good job by the defenders out in front. Trying to take it up is Addison Strunk. It's a good back and forth along the near side. Now it'll squirt out into Hopkinton DS territory. Haley Cox racing up the ice. Stoughton in the midst of a change. Sends it up over to Brennan. Pass over to the near side corner by Cox. Digging it out, Covino. Jean getting in there. And now here comes Perdoni. Sent across. With it, Ava Buckley along the end boards. You see Jean in there to contest. Sends it over to an unlisted number 6 for Stoughton. And here comes Perdoni. She's diverted. Sent up now by Jean. Poked out by Brennan. Squirts out into the corner. Covino there to pick it up. Along the corner, Jean matched up with Corvino. You see Jean, freshman out of Hopkinton. Cross to Perdoni. Perdoni briefly lost it. There to pick it up, Buckley. Sends it up. Stoughton looking to approach. Don't forget, each and every Wednesday, it's must-see HCAM TV Wednesdays. It all starts at 5:30 p.m. with HCAM Sports Talk. Catch it, HCAM Sports Talk, brand new edition tonight at 5:30, followed by HCAM News at 6:30 p.m. Hopkinton Weekly at 7, and our premiere of the week at 7:30. That's must-see HCAM TV Wednesdays. Looking to approach Rivera and turn away. Certainly a busy night for HCAM with must-see HCAM TV Wednesdays, and of course the double dose of Hopkinton Hillers hockey. With it is Wayne, sends it back. A couple government meetings tonight, airing live as well. Sent up the near side, and I think we're going to have an offsides here. Make that an icing. Puck squirts out. Along the far side is Monahan. Mistretta goes off the boards. Out in front, Mistretta trying to poke it out. Puts it towards the net. Over to the near side goes Kelly. She'll be turned away. Getting in her way was Haley Cox. Back to Stoughton territory. Well, Hopkinton over Sherborn winning the possession battle, but Stoughton doing a nice job at contesting and not letting them get as many shots off as they did in the first period. Top of the circle into traffic goes Callie Arthur. Catching up with it is Finnegan. Puts it towards the net, turned away. Looking for the backhander was Bailey. Here's Finnegan putting it towards the far side corner. To the net, turned away. That was gone. Looked like she was maybe going to go behind the net, but went right at it. Hopkinton over Sherborn starting to turn up the pressure a little bit. Arthur sends it over. Abby Wayne with a wrister, turned away. Puck squirts out, collected by Finnegan. Finnegan to the circle, shot, and a glove save. That's been good goaltending by Sarah Scapatici. Hopkinton over Sherborn, they've had a lot of shots on net, and Scapatici keeping Stoughton somewhat in this game. Lucy Jean sends it over. Collected by Bianca Musgrave. Along the far side now. Working her way up, Brennan. Some back and forth. Sarah Brennan gets in there. She is a sophomore at Hopkinton. From the blue line, off a defender's stick, and it'll be covered up by Scapatici. There's Bianca Musgrave slipping the shot in there, the senior out of Hopkinton. We're going to face off, and a couple changes at 6:44 left to go in the second period. Lucy Jean trying to dig it out. Patrick gets in there. Wenrich, shot just wide. On the far side, Perdoni pops it off the boards. Patrick going to take it around. Sends it up, finds Wenrich. And Rodman trying to work it out of their defensive zone. Puts it up and around the end boards. Catching up with it, Perdoni. Well, it's been a lot more quiet of a period than we saw in the first, that's for sure. But some good back and forth. Stoughton keeping their first line in the majority of this period. Lucy Jean approaching on a break. There's a shot turned away. Secondary shot turned away. Puck still loose. Out in front. All kinds of havoc in front of the net. And finally it squirts out and away. Rivera trying to dig it out. Back to the blue line it goes. Working her way forward, Callie Arthur. Arthur gets the stick in there. Some good back and forth. And it slips out, approaching Lucy Jean, and she's diverted. Jean back to Cox. And now there's a wrister, and it's sent just wide by Callie Arthur. And now in the midst of a jam near the net, and it looked like the net came dislodged. We'll get a face-off at 5:08 left to go. Well, Hopkinton over Sherborn with 4-0 lead heading into this period. They were able to certainly relax a little bit, but turning up the pressure once again. Morgan Byler up against Ella Cummings. Gets through the legs of Abby Wayne. Over to Kelly Bailey. She'll flip it back into Stoughton territory. Taken away. Approaching. That is Byler. Morgan Byler jammed up along the corner, tripped up. It comes out and Ella Cummings has it. And there's a quick one-timer out in front. And taken back by Byler. She'll scoot it out in front. There's a shot turned away. What a save by Scapatici. That was great pressure by Savannah Rivera, who was racing in there. Had a great look as Wayne sends it just wide. That almost went off of Rivera. Savannah Rivera sends it back. Morgan Byler looking for the shot, turned away. Back to Abby Wayne. Wrister, glove save. Great sequence by Hopkinton over Sherborn, continuing the pressure. And we should mention that this Stoughton team, also a co-op. They have Sharon players on their roster and a couple of Brockton players as well. Puck squirts out. Kaylin Thompson, there's a shot, and that's brushed away off the stick of Perdoni. Perdoni slips it out in front. Mazzucchelli with it. Trying to take it around. Jammed up along the boards. Lets it loose. Pass by Perdoni. That shot from Kaylin Thompson deflected. Here comes Stoughton. Unlisted number 6 racing up the ice. Into the corner it goes. Perdoni sends it near side. Finnegan trying to put it back into Stoughton territory as we approach 3 minutes. Approaching, there's a shot turned away, secondary shot, and that'll be wrapped up. Mary Finnegan, the freshman out of Hopkinton, putting the pressure on. Well, Hopkinton over Sherborn might be scoreless this period, but they have certainly established full control possession-wise. I think Riley Cholera might be getting a little bored back there in the Hopkinton over Sherborn defensive zone. Haley Cox sends it up. Patrick puts it along the end boards. Sent back by Avery Bent. Some good passing there by Hopkinton over Sherborn as that rocket of a shot is brushed away. Callie Arthur is trying to slip it towards the net. Back to Arthur. Wrister, and went off the stick of Julia Mistretta. Back to Callie, that's deflected. Leanna Patrick trying to catch up with it. Racing up the ice is Strunk. Addison Strunk, a freshman for Stoughton. Haley Cox approaching, she's turned away. And we'll get a face-off at 2:01 left to go in the second period. The icing call. Well, we have this game, and then we'll have a couple hours before the boys' game. But they will be taking on Norton. It's a scheduled 8 p.m. face-off, but the senior night festivities could start a few minutes earlier. So we suggest standing by at about 7:50 or so. You'll see the senior night festivities, followed by the game, of course, and it should be a great battle tonight. Two of the best in the TVL. Highly anticipated matchup. Along the far side, Mazzucchelli trying to send it back. Musgrave sends it across, off the stick of Brennan. Across goes Molly Corvino. Ava Buckley racing up the ice. That's sent into the corner. And some good defensive work by Hopkinton over Sherborn as they try to work back into Stoughton territory. That puck deflected off Black Knight. Sent over by Gahn. Along the boards, under a minute left to go in the second period. Well, Hopkinton over Sherborn, they have the 4-0 lead, so they weren't trying to rush the shots in there. They got a few very good shots, but big credit to Sarah Scapatici. She's been tremendous in net for Stoughton. And if you get a goaltender who's not as competent as Scapatici, you probably have yourself a 7-8-0 game right now. She has made some tremendous saves to keep Stoughton somewhat alive in this matchup. Approaching Ella Cummings. There's a shot. Glove save by Riley Collar, another fantastic goaltender. Freshman out of Nipmuc. We'll get a face-off at 11 seconds left in the period. Kelly Bailey up against Ella Cummings. And you got to think about these 8th graders in the game for Stoughton. What tremendous experience it is to get a taste of high school action as an 8th grader. It'll just certainly make them better players. And look out for the Stoughton team a few years from now. At the end of 2 periods, it's Hopkinton Dover Sherborn 4. Stoughton nothing. You are tuned in to Hopkinton Dover Sherborn Girls Co-op Hockey on HCAM. Welcome back into the New England Sports Center. We are ready for the 3rd period of this girls varsity hockey matchup between Hopkinton, Dover Sherborn, and Stoughton. Tom Nappy, happy to be with you on the call. John Ritz on camera. And we are underway here in this 3rd period. Hopkinton, Dover Sherborn working left to right across your screen for the period. A 4-0 Hopkinton, Dover Sherborn lead so far. And they certainly dominated the possession battle in the second period, as they'll look to do more of the same here in this 3rd. There's Arister along the left circle. Now what Stoughton did, they kept that first line in the majority of the time. Out in front of the net, there's a shot by Jean, and it's covered up. Another great save there by Scapatici. And Stoughton kept the first line in the majority of that second period, and it paid off as they were able to avoid giving up any goals despite the pressure. They're certainly busy defensively, but the defenders and goaltender held up very well. Sent over to the far side. But Hopkinton Dover Sherborn, as long as this game holds, will pick up their 3rd win of the season and improve to 3-6-1, which is very good. If you think about where this program was last year, they certainly competed hard. They had a short roster many of the games. They could barely make 2 lines most of the games. And fortunately this year they have some great additions. But it was certainly a tough year. Of course, you had COVID and all that stuff factoring in as well, and a few injuries. And they got through it, played every game, and picked up a few wins. They actually also picked up a tournament win during the holiday break, which was very impressive to see. And they did really well with the circumstances, but his program is certainly building themselves up as they've added some players this year, and they continue to get better. That shot turned away as Ava Buckley was able to get in there. Up the far side goes Haley Cox. Now with it is Mary Finnegan. Around the end boards it goes. Pass up over to Caitlin Gaughan. As the puck it rockets to the far side. Leanna Patrick with it. Sends it out. Good defense there by Stoughton getting in front of Mary Finnegan. Kelly Bailey with it. Sends it back to Kaylin Thompson. Over to the circle. Stoughton defenders rush in. A cutoff gone. Stoughton, they are hanging their defense back and keeping them in front of the net. They know they can't give up too much space in front of the net, or they'll get a similar result to what they got in that first period. And trying to bust through is number 6 for Stoughton, unlisted. Back and forth along the far side, sent up by Finnegan. That's pretty impressive what this Hopkinton Dover Sherborn team has been able to do the last few games. A rough start to the season, but last 5 or 6 games, if this one holds, they'll pick up 3 wins and a tie. So who knows? I mean, there's still a lot of season left. They could be perhaps in the mix for a playoff spot. A nice job there, getting in the way by Bailey, sending it away. They have some winnable games coming up, and anything's possible. Depending on the circumstances, they might not even need to be at 500 to get in. They'll certainly need to be close, but we shall see. Leanna Patrick coming out with it. Flips it up the near side. Here she goes. She has some speed. Puts it towards the end boards. Bringing it around. Tripped up. Getting in her way was Samantha Kalapai. Top of the circle. There's a shot by Perdoni. Patrick puts it off the post. Mazzucchelli with it. Taken away. Here comes Ella Cummings. Racing in and just able to get there is Perdoni. That was a great job by Reese Perdoni catching up with Cummings and avoiding that one-on-one matchup with the goaltender, Riley Cholera. Just under 11 minutes left. We're going to get a face-off at 10:54. Get an icing call. Busy day here at the New England Sports Center. There's a game between this girls' game and the Hiller boys in Norton tonight. I believe it's St. John's, but not 100% sure about that. But all kinds of hockey action going on this time of year. And there's a shot turned away. There was a nice shot there by 17, Bianca Musgrave. Along the corner, trying to dig it out is Brennan. I've had a chance to see a couple glimpses of St. John's prior to some of the Hopkinton games. They look very good this season. And good, entertaining D1 hockey. Along the corner. Squirts out to the near side. There's a shot turned away. Algonquin, also another team that plays here. Hopkinton boys played Algonquin as part of the Metro West Daily News tournament. They were able to take down Algonquin in that game, I believe. But they did not win the tournament. They did lose one of those games. It might have been Algonquin. We'll have to go back and check the record books. Kelly Bailey up against Ella Cummings. Lincoln Sudbury, Neshoba, Hudson also teams at play here. And it's certainly good to see the Hopkinton Dover Sherborn girls here as well. Abby Wayne with it. Sends it across. This is a second season in a row Hopkinton Dover Sherborn has called New England Sports Center their home, and more than likely they will continue to do so for the foreseeable future. A lot of Hopkinton athletes on this roster. Puck squirts out into Stoughton territory. And some good athletes out of Dover Sherborn, of course, as well. Great co-op these two schools have going. We get an icing call. Face-off at 9:04 left to go. And if you look at the history of this girls co-op program, they have just continued to get better and better as the seasons have gone on. And it's kind of like the boys program, where they started off a little rough around the edges, built themselves up, and look where they are now. In 2019, in the state championship, nearly were able to take home the ultimate prize, but just the fact they got there, very impressive, and they're constantly a force in the playoffs and have multiple TVL titles as well. I think we'll see this girls program there someday in the near future. And what do we have here? Looks like an offsides. Really seeing rather. Get a face-off at 8:42 left to go. We do have a busy slate of sports coming up for you throughout the rest of the week. We'll tell you more about that in just a moment. Tomorrow, the ski team's supposed to be in action. We're watching the weather closely. That will unfortunately not be live due to internet capabilities down at the ski lodge, but we will have the recording and get it out for you the next day. Then on Friday, big boys basketball matchup, as they will have a good battle with Norton. It's a 7 p.m. tip-off for that game. Along the end boards, sent out. Over to Lucy Jean. Back to the blue line. There's a shot off a defender. That was by Callie Arthur. Now this Hopkinton Dover Sherborn girls team, they have competed very hard the last few years. And despite the short roster size for last year and a number of obstacles they had to get through, they have performed very well and been competitive against some very good teams. Reese Perdoni sends it near side of Gone, trying to dig it out. And we'll get an icing call. We'll get a face-off at 7:14 left to go. And also on Saturday, we'll have the TVL Showcase Swim Meet. That'll be live from the Wellesley Boston Sports Institute. Out in front, there's a shot. Loose puck. Great save by Cholera. Ella Cummings with the pressure. Ella Cummings had a great look there, but Cholera somehow made that save. Callie Arthur sends it up. Trying to rush through his Cummings once again. Backhander sent just wide by McGowan. I'll tell you what, without the goaltending of Riley Cholera, this game would be a lot closer. She's made some tremendous saves this evening, and there's another one. We get a tripped up player, and she might be a little shooken up. Official going to check on her. That is Ava Buckley. Certainly hope she's okay. Or no, correction, that's Megan McGowan, number 23. We're going to get a penalty, a first penalty of the game. It's been a very clean game up to this point. Bianca Musgrave will head to the box for 2 minutes for a cross check. Actually, it'll be interference. And we'll get a timeout. 6:28 left to go. 4-0 Hopkinton Dover Sherborn lead. You are tuned in to Girls Varsity Hockey on HCAM. Stoughton on the power play for the next 2 minutes. Interference call against Musgrave. Along the near side, Ava Buckley. Well, this will be a good opportunity for Stoughton to try to get one and get that goose egg off the board. Along the near side corner, Mazzucchelli sends it out. Of course, Hopkinton Dover Sherborn has other ideas. Perdoni up to Mazzucchelli. Along the end board she goes. Out in front, Patrick trying to stuff it in, and she does! A shorthanded goal for Hopkinton Dover Sherborn. Leanna Patrick with the assist of Sophia Mazzucchelli makes it a 5-0 game. At 5:54 left to go in the third. It was a great shorthanded score by Hopkinton over Sherborn. Avery Bent up against Ella Cummings. Sending it up the ice, Haley Cox. Collected by Ava Buckley. Closing in, Avery Bent. And she's diverted. Sends it back around to the near side. Lucy Jean with the shot and puts it in! What a shot that was by the freshman, Lucy Jean. She has her second goal of the game. And how about that? 2 short-handed goals by Hopkinton Dover Sherborn. And we'll get a face-off at 5:11 left to go. Impressive stuff. Well, Stoughton's been defending all game and perhaps getting a little tired out there. We're going to get a discussion here at the scores table. Nothing changed on the clock, so the goal will stand, and Hopkinton Dover Sherborn up 6-0. Along the end boards, Byler sends it up. Winterich puts it towards the net, turned away. Along the corner, Byler. And sent away. And with 4:24 left to go in the third period, 5 seconds left on the Stoughton power play, we'll get a face-off off the icing call. You got to think Sarah Scapitici in net for Stoughton. She has made a lot of saves here this evening and has certainly been put to work, and she may be getting a little tired as well, as there has been a lot of action near that Stoughton net. And it would certainly be very understandable if she was getting a little tired, as Hopkinton Dover Sherborn has just dominated the possession battle in this game. Stolen away by Ella Cummings. There's a shot and a glove save by Riley Cholera. We're back at even strength, and we get a face-off at 4:06. left to go. Couple changes for Hopkinton Dover Sherborn. You saw a lot of the team in general is young, but you saw a lot of playing time by a lot of the younger players on this Hopkinton Dover Sherborn team this evening. And everybody got in there for a good chunk of this game. Good job by Coach Nick Grout as that one's brushed away by Scapatici. Nick Grout in his second season at the helm for Hopkinton Dover Sherborn as that is sent over. Up the ice goes Ava Buckley. Sent over by Finnegan. Here comes Kelly Bailey. Turns it up along the far side. Trying to dig it out is Haley Cox. Popped off the boards there by Strunk. Hopkinton Dover Sherborn doing a nice job keeping it in Stoughton territory. Up the ice goes Corvino. Cholera brushes it away. It's been very impressive to watch the goaltending of Riley Cholera. She's been great this season. There's Brennan trying to race down. She's diverted. And she never seems like she's nervous in net, no matter what the situation is, and has made numerous good saves and kept this Hopkinton Dover Sherborn team in many games throughout the season. Here comes Stoughton. Backhander turned away by Cholera. Another great save as Addison Strunk found an opening. Along the corner, Ella Cummings. Backhander turned away. Sophia Mazzucchelli sends it up. Under 2 minutes left to go in this game. Hopkinton Dover Sherborn looking forward to improving to 3-6-1 on the season. And they'll be right in the mix if they can rack up a couple more wins going forward. Hopefully many more. Into Stoughton territory, brushed away. And we can confirm it is indeed St. John's who will be in action following this game. See a couple of St. John's players taking in the action. Ava Buckley racing up. There's a shot turned away. Sent up along the near side. We'll get a face-off off the icing call at 1:04 left to go. Impressive performance by Hopkinton Dover Sherborn. Yeah, Lucy Jean get in there for a couple goals. Leanna Patrick had a goal and actually make that 2 goals as well as an assist. Kelly Bailey with a goal. Great team effort by Hopkinton Dover Sherborn this evening to come up with a well-needed win. And it looks like Cholera lost the puck, but is just able to cover it up. Fortunately for her, it was in the crease. And don't forget, folks, you're going to want to tune in tonight, 8 p.m. face-off. Hopkinton Ailer boys against the Norton Lancers in a big-time TVL matchup. And the boys will also be celebrating senior night. Live tonight on HCAM at 8 p.m. Lucy Jean racing in, a misfire there. She'd like to get a little more mustard on that puck. 30 seconds and counting left to go. Over to the near side. Getting in there was Finnegan. Here comes Jean. Turned away. Nope, that's Avery Bent, number 10. The tucked-in jersey got me again. Sent over by Corvino. And that's going to do it. A very impressive win by Hopkinton Dover Sherborn as they take down Stoughton for the second time this season. And they do it by a total of 6-0. Your player of the game, number of players to consider. We'll give it to Lucy Jean, the freshman out of Hopkinton. She was terrific. Had a pair of goals this evening and was in the midst of much of the action. But the Hopkinton Dover Sherborn girls improved to 3-6-1. Stoughton falls to 0-9 as Hopkinton Dover Sherborn comes up with the 6-0 victory in this girls varsity matchup. That's going to do it for now. We'll be back with you in a couple of hours for Hopkinton boys as they take on the Norton Lancers and celebrate senior night. For John Ritz on camera, I'm Tom Nappy. We thank you for watching Hopkinton Dover Sherborn Girls Co-op Varsity Hockey on HCAM. Take care, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk to you again soon. Goodbye, everybody.